Let's take a look at the Linux file system hierarchy and understand where does everything go exactly. Now, the Linux file system is laid out in a tree-like structure, and everything starts from the root directory. So the root directory is actually the root directory of the entire file system hierarchy. And underneath that, we're going to find different types of directories. We're just going to go over some of these, and these will differ from one Linux distribution to the other, but more or less you should find these main directories in every Linux distribution out there. We have, for example, the bin directory. The bin directory includes the user binaries, the executables for the user. We have the boot directory. That boot directory includes some files for the bootloader to use in order to boot up the system, in order to boot up the Linux OS. The dev directory has some files to describe the devices, so we would call them the device files because in Linux everything is dealt with in terms of files. So if you have anything connected to your system, if you have even a directory, the Linux OS is going to deal with that entity as if it is a file. We have the etc directory. This has some host specific system configuration. The home directory. Now the home directory is where your user directories would reside. So in our case, you would find a /home/Ibrahim because that's my username, and you'll see that once we get to the examples. We have a /lib. The /lib directory includes some shared libraries to be used amongst the executables, the binaries, and it also includes some kernel modules. What a kernel is actually the heart and core of the Linux system. The /media. /media is a mount point for removable devices, removable media like USB sticks, for example. And the /mnt is a generic mount point that can be used to temporarily mount a file system. We have the OPT or /OPT. This has some add-on application software. We have the sbin. The sbin directory includes the executables as well, but system executables, the system binary files. We have the temp. This is just a directory that includes some temporary files. And we have the root directory. Now the root directory is not the same as the slash or / directory. Okay, so this is actually the home directory for the root user, for the super user. The usr or /usr, this directory is mostly used in multi-user systems to have the user utilities and applications that are shared amongst the users. And we have the var directory. This just includes some variable files to be used by the OS. And last but not least, we have the proc directory, and this is just a virtual file system documenting the kernel and process status as text files. And this is it. This is how the Linux file system hierarchy looks like.